it's almost, it's not, obviously by no means it's like identical, but a lot of similar picks coming out from PSG.LGD. Aster going for something kind of completely different, more of these counter picks again. You know, they did counter pick the AM with the PA, didn't work. This time they're going to counter pick the Pango with the Bloodseeker. Let's see if that's going to end up working when he's buffed up with Empower. But I mean, Shadow Demon just seems to be like such an incredible hero at this point. Like we saw it, of course, from Tundra, how they're making work. We saw last game how much Planet was able to do. And I mean, this could be another one of those games where if he gets an Ags on this SD, what the hell are they going to do, right? You purge Bloodseeker, he's done. DK's done as well. You have the defensive Dispel that's going to come from the Shard versus Overgrowth and stuff like that too. I don't know. This one looks crazy.
Yeah, those
LGD seems to have the answers.
Those double breaks feel so rough against those two heroes in particular. And then, like you kind of talked about and alluded to, Shiro playing on this Lifestealer. I mean, this is a hero that in games where it's like a perfect game for it, looks amazing and just looks like the be-all, end-all, that anti-carry. And this could be one of those games. You know, he is up against two big strength heroes that, you know, hate to sort of go toe-to-toe with them. I'm really curious if it works out. Yeah,
same. I mean, it's definitely like that. Because now it's like, okay, Bloodseeker, you're rupturing Pango, right?
Yeah.
But then Lifestealer is like, nice, I got all the potential to be able to move around freely inside these fights besides the RP. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. They've got, of course, they've got Overgrowth and stuff like that and the RP to lock him down in place like that. But as we said, you know, there's a lot of defensive capabilities. There's Sidekick. Yeah, we're in for a treat.
You know, I think that the other big dynamic with these teams that we've seen is each game, game number one sort of went the distance with this like passive farming type of dynamic. And in game number two, LGD was like, all right, screw that. We're just going to hit this like insane timing with the anti-mage and just win the game at that point. And effectively they did at like 20-ish minutes or whatever it was. This time, do you think that LGD are going to be looking for a similar pace to game number two, or is it going to be more back to that like farming, let's get our items, and late game we're going to be able to take a stranglehold on it?
I feel like this one's going to be a little bit more like trading cooldowns and fighting like we got to see the first game. I think the second game was just this, you know, Shiro becoming a monster on AM and taking over the game, like you said, at 20 minutes. It felt very limited for what Aster can do. So yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I think this one's going to be a lot more farming, which for some people can be boring, but we get to see the beautiful macro plays from these teams, which I think is the highlight, at least for me, in this series.
Well, and we did see in that game, it ended up being Aster that came out on top, you know, playing what I felt like at various points there were some moments where they were getting outplayed by LGD, but there were a couple of those pivotal engagements where, you know, Aster were able to come out a little bit on top, and then of course Shiro not having buyback on that Faceless Void obviously made up for it more than a bit in game number two playing on that anti-mage. But we're taking a look at these lanes, and you can see the Lifestealer doing very, very well. DK giving some punishment to that mid lane.
Yeah, DK able to just free farm in this lane, no pressure whatsoever. I remember when we saw the DK versus Pango, I think one of the other days, and he killed him at level 1.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We were like, what the hell happened? He killed him literally with stuns and auto attacks, which was pretty insane. But yeah, I mean, that's not going to be the case here. But XWI is going to dominate this matchup. But he did the same last time. This is Ember Spirit. As bottom, they get the big pullback onto Why You Smile.
Making sure that that Bloodseeker is fully topped off on movement speed and everything else up on the top side of the map. So yeah, LGD gonna need to get some help there, making sure that they don't drop down too low and make that lane rough for Marcy, who is having a pretty good time too. You can see 5 denies on the Marcy already, not bad at all.
Yeah, I would say still for Aster though, 2 pretty dominant lanes, and on the other side, I don't think they're gonna be able to, like, you know, they're never gonna be able to really kill the Rubik or the Magus, unless Boboka just gets completely out of position. So XXS should be able to just farm nicely down here, but Shiro will get free farm.
Okay.
As this Lifestealer. So one lane that's going to go really, really nice for LGD, but 2.5 for Aster that look great.
And then we'll see what they want to do around that. I mean, you know, DK not really known for those big 6-minute rotations, but could start to try and put some punishment onto these towers, particularly if Pango leaves.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the idea of the pick, where he does excellent in the lane phase, and then yeah, Pango, when he moves, your tower is just in jeopardy every single time. So we'll see how they respond to it. I've seen Why You Smile do some incredibly impressive stuff as his Enchantress, where he's actually the one just pressuring towers so early on with the enchant. I think that's probably going to be what we see from him, because he can also move a lot, right? As this Enchantress down bottom, get the last hit there. Actually, Why You Smile gets it with the Ghost. Cool. He can actually move around a lot in this Ench because, you know, Shiro's a lifestealer versus a Magnus. He can just stand his ground and just hit the Magnus all the time.
Yeah, keep him back if you can. And you can see they're also trying to send that Ghost in for some extra bits of harassment as Planet facing off against the tree down here, trying to cut the trees down too. The hero that we talked about is sort of his job in the laning stage and everything else, but the DK is one of the ones to me also this tour for DPC that has kind of looked the most different at various points, as they'll dodge the blood right there. There's a lot of different ways that you can play with it. We've seen, I think just the other day, there was like a Blink into Ags build from a DK, but also Blink BKB, sometimes a Midas. Like, there's so many different ways that XWY can go, and I feel like that's going to dictate kind of the tempo that Aster play at.
Yeah, how much is he going to be able to scale? I mean, that one was a Skeeter.
Right.
Skitter playing it, of course, going for that Ags and just playing like a carry style versus the Naga Siren. This one, he does have Empower, so he could get to the potential of getting this type of scaling, but does have to always be careful. He's playing versus Lifestealer, right? So
yeah,
there's always going to be that kind of front. But right now, yeah, looking very good for the side of Aster on the 3 lanes, but either way, it is still PSG.LGD leading the net worth slightly.
Just made up for a little bit by that Enchantress. Still no first blood here at 5 minutes in, as XWY has a couple creeps coming into him under the tower there. And Why You Smile has himself another creep. So gonna hurl some boulders back this direction and try and bully the side of Aster as much as possible.
Shiro free farming.
Yeah, Lifestealer off to a really good start as XWY mid will pop that first DK form with the catapult coming in. Nothing to say. Ooh. Gonna have to try and stop this pressure.
Those levels really matter. This type of early start. That is a crazy cosmetic. That almost looks like the level 18.
Yeah. It looks like Winter Wyvern, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh my god, stun.
I've never seen that one as nothing to say.
He's in trouble. Doesn't have Swashbuckle, and look at that.
He's dead.
Oh, it's actually Pichu that moves in and gets the first blood of all heroes. And now with the disruption, okay, Aster, this is a pretty freaking good move from them.
This is beautiful. I mean, this DK pick, it's working out amazing. We are seeing the rotation from Why You Smile.
Okay, now he's in some trouble. Hurl one boulder, has a second one to hurl, has some more right clicks. The tree armor trying to keep him alive, but the stacks of the shadow poison, it's not going to be enough.
No, he's fine. Playing around this DK, shutting down Nothing to Say. And how much damage did they get? Not the most damage on the tower. The catapult actually did not end up aggroing up, so PSG.LGD, the double support rotation is going to be that answer to try to at least stop some of that push.
Very, very well done. I mean, because that's the type of thing where if you get that catapult pushing in with the DK form going, it'll just die so quickly. And even as it is, it's going to get some probably decent damage onto the onto the tower here.
Yeah, I love that they do this, because as we were mentioning, you know, Lifestealer, he can be left alone on an island when he's playing versus the Magnus, until that level 6 comes out in particular. And the Marcy always has a way to get away from Bloodseeker and Tree now at this point. He's got this, you know, the rebound that can just jump away from the blood, right? So really good moves from PSG.LGD to react, but will, of course, give up that first blood.
Double hums of Iron Will on this team. You don't often see it, but
cool.
I think there's going to be 2 armlets.
Yep, does look like it. We've seen that build so many times now from these off-lane Marcies, and I think Lifestealer, you have to go this build, like 99% of games.
Yeah, of course. And, well, the rotation in from Why You Smile made sure that the tower did not go down. A second rotation here could be looking to do some actual damage to XWY as they'll get the disruption and now the roll. So we'll have that effect placed over onto him too from his own dragon form. And well, just like that, he's dead. What a great rotation from LGD.
And I love the skill build from Planet. He even takes 1 extra point here. He takes the Disseminate. Not something you always see. The last game he didn't actually opt for it, but wanting that little bit of extra damage versus a DK. And now they get the push going themselves. PSG.LGD coming out with some very clean answers.
I mean, that was perfect, right? Because they did the exact timing, and he immediately popped Dragon Form again and then just dies. Like, recognizing the timings of when they're going. LGD, after a frustrating game number 1 for them, have really pulled together a solid 2 drafts, and I think they're in a good spot right now.
Absolutely. Does feel like it. Zhao 8, the big brain. This last pick, Lifestealer. All 3 cores having ways to kind of escape in a way, right? Yeah. Lifestealer can just kind of rage and walk away. Marcy, as we mentioned, the rebound to get out. So self-sufficient laners that the supports can just freely move around with. So we are seeing that SD and Enchantress kind of move wherever they want to, wherever they see the next play coming from Aster.
Well, Why You Smile, secured bottom, secured mid. There's one more place for him to go, and already the Bloodseeker's like, I don't want any of that mess. Monet's out of here.
Yeah. Having the jungle already here on Bloodseeker and the DK. I mean, this is impressive, really, from PSG.LGD.
The Shadow Demon also, because the Enchantress can move around, this is freeing up Planet to go stack Ancients. So that is a double, triple stack for both of them, which is going to be a huge win. I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to take it super easily with their heroes. Unless they go, I mean, you're not going to see a Battle Fury build at either of these two, I don't think. No. So yeah, it's just going to be nothing to say. He tries to take it himself.
Cool. I mean, the regen is probably the best rune he could have found for this.
Yeah.
He's going to just be able to stay full health and just keep spamming it down. Yeah, it's very ideal.
Man, that is so lucky for him. Holy moly.
Like literally any other rune would not have done this fine. He wouldn't be able to. Yeah, this is pretty sick.
He's just got to keep taking damage right now. It's running out anyway, so doesn't need to.
Either way, got it very... I mean, he's pretty much finished it off, so... Great, efficient plays. Shiro, just chilling bottom. Armlet Deso, queued up. Looks like he's going to have a free game.
And up top, they find their man, Monet, right there.
Whoops.
Goes for the Rupture. And, well, Marcy, no way out of that one. So a little bit exuberant.
A little bit of an overextension, but also an over-rotation coming out from Aster. XXS comes top, but he's not needed up there for that kill. Now they'll send Monet bottom, but he can't even stand toe-to-toe versus Shiro at the moment. Level 8 on this Lifestealer.
Queues up that Deso after just finishing that Armlet at 10 minutes.
I think you just go the normal build on Lifestealer. Your usual like Deso, AC kind of stuff.
I'm looking at this timing though, and that is, I don't know how they're gonna deal with this.
I don't know either.
This is looking really scary. If Marcy gets into like Armlet BKB without being hampered, I think this is gonna be really hard for Aster to contend with.
Yeah, it's like we said, there's too many targets for them to focus on with the Rupture. Because if you Rupture one of them, if you Rupture Pango, the other two are gonna be able to freely run around. And as you mentioned before, the SD, we've seen that response a lot. We saw that response from Tundra. That's kind of the counter, it feels like, to Treant Protector. Because the offensive Dispel versus the Armor versus the Empower as well from the Magnus. And then the defensive Cleanse versus the Overgrowth that's going to be coming out too. So, yeah, PSG.LGD have themselves a very, very good opening into this mid-game.
All right. Shiro takes a couple tower shots while Tree Armor is being placed on the tower down bottom. Monet will clean up this creep wave. And then back to the jungle for the Lifestealer. As nothing to say, trying to finish off a Diffusal Blade. I mean, the one thing that I think does give Aster a little bit of a better time is going to be this XXS Magnus. The hero he originally gained prominence on, and with the mech done, he can now go back for that Blink Dagger, and then maybe you can, you know, somebody's Rupture, just skew him around to death.
For sure. And he's just constantly throwing the Empower onto Monet so that he can keep up and farm at least, but yeah, so far, PSG.LGD looks like a really good game plan for them. And now giving levels, so they're distributing farm, nothing to say, continues to just farm these Ancients, while the SD takes the mid lane to finish up Arcane Boots, and Shiro does whatever the hell he wants bottom.
Why you smile, resummons skeletons and sends them at the tower. So the rally coming into effect.
It's taking a ton of, they gotta kill this creep.
Yeah, this is gonna drop rather rapidly, and very low HP on that tower, but does keep it alive just barely.
Yeah, they'll be able to just Tree Armor it. But I think they might, I mean, the next round of creeps are going to come, and eventually, yeah, it's probably going to get brought down pretty soon. I imagine he's going to go back down there. So Blink Dagger is now finished. Aster feels like they got to start making some moves. This game state does not feel good for them.
Pango is being revealed on those Ancients with the Thirst. And Shiro jumps inside his creep, runs away.
No funny business.
But look at the Wild Wing at that bottom tower.
He's taking it. He's doing it.
Can they get there in time?
It's dead. One more hit. Oh, maybe some couriers too. Wild Wing.
Up a little higher there.
It'll finish the tower though. Okay.
Sneaky, sneaky.
I mean, him. Innocence, why you smile? He is just. I mean,
oh my god.
Is he gonna kill two?
He's killing.
Oh my god.
Okay.
This man's Enchantress is just too good.
That is silly.
He's secured the bottom lane. He ganked the mid lane. He went to the top lane. He takes the tower. Is he gonna get another? Oh my god.
Dude, this freaking Wild Wing over here.
He used the Hurricane on itself to get the second hit on it. He literally gets 3 couriers and a tower. Look at the gold lead. Like, they just have a 2K gold lead now because of all this.
All right, that Enchantress is crazy.
That was amazing. And now he's smoking up his Marcy. The whole team on PSG.LGD is ready to fight.
This is going to be a big window for them here. And I mean, they're going to run into the tree as they head up to this high ground. Smoke is going to break. They spot him. Hello, hello. Overgrowth out. Can they do anything? Monet is there, does have Rupture, but doesn't look like he wants to fight yet. XXS with no blink, 500 gold away from it. They can't really run into this. And now Shadow Demon ulti, so he can't even get his blink off. XWY in trouble. XXS looks for his skewer, looks for anything, but it's just going to be to try and get away.
They might still go down.
Rupture. Yeah, nothing to say is in some trouble here. Has to stand his ground. Monet very low, but nothing to say lives. Unreal.
All right, maybe we are going to have a repeat of the second game. My God, LGD. So good at the way that they play the map. I mean, this is insane the way they've played this lanes. And now they're going to even go into the enemy. Yeah, still stay in the enemy triangle, take away the farm. And this is almost a Deso finished up on Lifestealer. Holy crap.
The timings.
That was the blink reveal of the DK, by the way. And he almost just dies immediately when he tries to go for anything. Having to fully... I mean, everything was used defensively.
It's been a really rough couple of minutes here for Aster.
Yep.
I mean, since the courier slaughter of 14 minutes, they've never been the same.
No. And now look at the wards too, right? They didn't get to block the Ancients here, but they blocked the hard camp with the Sentry. So preventative measures versus this Magnus and Power and versus the Bloodseeker farming. And yeah, Shiro, the Deso's done. They're starting to take towers at a much easier rate than we are seeing Aster able to.
They're bringing everybody, but I don't know if they can do anything here. They do have that stun from XWY. Jumps for Shiro, gets him there. Where's the save? Gets the rage off, gets the back away, the armlet. He's fine. And now Aster, I mean, they're going to get a skewer back on an illusion, but XXS, he's in trouble.
They're in.
They got him caught. They got him controlled, but the root, okay. Stolen shield crash, that's not that great, but a big blood right comes out, and that is going to be 2 dead. Monet running very quick and gonna run down. Nothing to say here. 2, does he manage to escape from this one? The swash to get away does slow him down, but they've got vision, so nothing to say. He's gonna get ran down.
Nicely done. All right, slight overextension. Shiro goes. I thought Shiro was just gonna completely bail out of the fight, but his team must have said, let's go, as losing all 3 cores there. Aster, they hit back. These teams are just so good at knowing when to fight.
I mean, showing some of the, like, scariness too of these armlet builds against Bloodseeker, right? Like he's just going to be running around so fast on Monet, and now
Baboka,
why you smile? They're on him, and he is going to drop. Wow!
All right, back to even.
Just like that. Wow. I mean, the tower damage is still a problem, though. I guess that they took mid tower on Aster as well, though. So yeah, only 1 tower advantage into the favor of LGD.
These teams just know exactly how to play around everything. Even when they didn't have RP there, that's a remarkable fight there for Aster to be able to gain back their side of the map and keep their Ancients and Triangle kind of protected here. PSG.LGD gets shaken up.
It's true, and that's like, you know, without that Blink Dagger yet done on XXS. He has it now.
Now he does, yeah.
And if they can sort of take the fight that effectively against LGD at that point, could be something to watch out for.
It looks like LGD looking to continue try to fight here. Taking away actually the... Wow, that was like a quad stack. Nothing to say, able to take it. And now going into Roche. There's everything up for Aster though.
Yeah, and that Observer Ward scouted all of this, so Aster are going to be aware.
Why you smile still just hitting? He went back in to hit, his whole team bailed away, so looks like they are not going to go for it versus every single one of the ults.
A little bit too scary to do that. Cheryl also is going straight afterwards into the shard.
Okay, cool.
So haven't seen open wounds yet, obviously. Needs to get that one done there. Kind of nice to pair together with Marcy.
With Marcy and with Pango. Like, there's going to be a crazy amount of sustain and heal. Cool stuff. Monet getting annoyed here by this Centaur. Chasing it out because it's trying to block his Ancients. It won't be able to get the block. While Innocence just, Why You Smile continues to just do his micro stuff with his Enchantress.
Yeah. WY will be building into the BKB next.
Yeah. Needs it to deal with that Marcy and Pango in particular.
Right. But to be honest, it's also going to be a while before he feels really comfortable. I think if Lifestealer ever gets on top of him, he's going to need to get into that AC and something else to sort of like keep himself alive, because Lifestealer just gobbles up these big tanky heroes.
Yeah, he is going to be, of course, you know, they do have the protection that's going to come from Boboka. So
Right.
he does always have, he's the shard purchased up first item. So he will be able to at least pull him out of these maybe difficult scenarios. But yeah, XWY does have to be cautious of how he goes in and out.
Speaking of which, Boboka, Aether Lens done. He is catching up to the Marcy. The Marcy, the lowest of the cores right now,
He's
as
always
we've seen.
He's always so farmed.
Yeah.
Having the enchant for all this duration is quite nice. He just keeps scouting. He has this Satyr Tormentor even going to the top tower right now to do a little bit of damage.
Right.
So
Well,
he's making the Enchantress play versus herself.
trying to be annoying as she is.
Yep.
And last game, you know, it was, I think, or was it the game before that?
Oh.
LGD was blessed with one. Philosopher's Stone has nothing to say, is going to get caught by that overgrowth in the rupture. TP out, maybe. RP used.
Holy.
Wow. That is everything.
They really want him dead.
Yeah.
All three ults. Monet now has BKB secured.
But with all three ults used,
Okay.
LGD is like, let's go then. Dude, they don't even have the
let
lifestealer.
the Enchantress tank. There we go. I mean, they have sidekick. They're going to be able to keep themselves healed up. Not even popping. Okay, I was going to say, is he going to pop the Unleash? I imagine so. Dagger Bristol?
Shiro's coming in.
Not using the dagger, okay. Either way.
I'm down to half HP, but it feels like they know. And XWY walking forward in
Uh-oh.
the middle of it.
He jumps in.
Pops the ulti. They need to get something out, but no overgrowth, no nothing. But Monet, jump in, find it, but before the skewer comes back, able to get in on top of them.
Oh, Boboka.
Tries to chase and gets that finish.
What a play from Boboka. Lifts, saves the DK, and then also gets this rebound steal. Probably one of the best steals that you can actually get on a Rubik in this game. One of the casual spells, not one of the ultimates, of course. And they're the ones actually who just walk in and get it. Uh-oh.
Oh, that hurts. That one hurts a lot.
LGD tried to do some type of fancy play to play around those ultimates, but XWY, knowing that he's fine with Boboka around. That shard purchase, right? That's why we see this Rubik picked so often, and it comes into play immediately.
Yeah, you can see this replay. I mean, the thing that's crazy about this is that the initiation wasn't even that great. It was just them showing up.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Maybe just feeling like they couldn't really take that fight regardless what ended up happening. And Aster, they move on in, find themselves an Aegis.
They moved so fast, right? They were just bottom, and then
Yeah.
they all just appear as 5 around that Roche pit. And now it's a Basher for Monet. So a full BKB was just finished, and now he's on that too, with that some power constantly busting up. 3K lead.
Back and forth we go. Just when you think that LGD are going to start, you know, pulling things together and making everything work, Aster put the clamps on it.
Yep. And yeah, now they have a fantastic timing for themselves. Double BKBs, the Blink, the Mech. They want to fight. And LGD, they need to just sit back and kind of farm for a little bit here before they take any type of battles. No shard yet finished on the SD. He's gone for Lens this game first. BKB still not finished up for the Marcy. Only Lifestealer really having that good time now.
Ooh, nothing to say is down here along with Why You Smile. XXS runs into that Enchantress, and they're going to get that kill. And I think that Nothing to Say should be able to get out of here. Yeah, so he will give up his life for his Pango on that Enchantress. Nothing to Say, obviously needing to get into that Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, before he can take any fighter, he's just constantly ruptured. And they do have a Philosopher's Stone on the side of Aster, so we do see that Blink already finished up for Pichu. Or, yes, I was going to say Siamese Cat, but yeah, he's Pichu now. So has this control versus Lifestealer and versus Pango constantly. So now, yeah, Nothing to Say, it's tough, right? Because he needs to build Lincolns, but now it's like, damn, he also needs Shard, because he needs a way to also dispel versus the tree in his own way.
He just needs money.
He needs a lot of money, and it's Aster, they're closing the map off a bit here.
Should have bought a Midas.
Definitely not.
Live and learn. Okay, fair enough. Force Staff almost done for this mag, and they're setting up to try and take this bottom tower. Nothing to Say. Oh, he gets caught. It was a greed play from him, and then the rupture's there. Dude, he was so close to that Lincoln Sphere. 400 gold away, just wanted to get it from that tower, killing off those creeps. It doesn't happen, and the tier 2 has just gone so quickly.
Aster reading the map perfectly. Just the instant jump when they knew that he was going to try to do some type of play like that, and they were super prepared. And now they have ward vision, even on top of the Marcy. Uh-oh.
LGD, they are looking good, but Aster that little bit better, and it's the little bit that's separating these two teams as every move they make is being countered. Aster are playing flawlessly.
And look at Boboka. Now he's got sidekick. So this DK, this Bloodseeker, they're going to just run rampant inside of these team fights too. They banned it the first game, or they banned it that second game, and now Baboka, he's starting to just have a field day.
Yeah, I mean, so much value gotten out of this pick, and so much that at this point, like, LGD really feel like they don't have an answer. That early game started great, and Shiro, you know, incredibly farmed on this lifesteal, and it all could turn back around again with one or two sort of misplays, but it feels like this XXX madness just unlocks so much for this team in terms of the team fight, in terms of the acceleration of farm for the cores.
Yeah, especially because all of the team fight is coming from nothing to say, and he just gets ruptured. He's going to get ruptured or overgrowth every single fight. It does feel like now. So they need a bit more time to be able to look for these type of battles. It's Aster not wanting to give them that time.
Monet staying on the front foot. And XWY there right beside him. With this Aegis, they have taken the other two side tier 2 towers and are likely going to be looking for mid next.
Yeah, and look at Monet. He's just going to get side kicked back up to full HP probably. Oh, he's actually... Okay, there we go. Side kicked up to full HP. That is another amazing steal.
But this is the thing too, right? You look at how dominant they've been in the last couple of minutes. It's 11-3. The gold lead, still only 3K. LGD is keeping that farm going and keeping themselves in this game. It's just sort of a moment of definitely dominance coming from Aster.
Yeah, they're literally just playing the farm game because they don't have BKB yet on the Marcy. Their team fight has been countered. Their Pango, of course, as we mentioned. He has Lincolns now. Still needs Shard to be able to... I mean, Shard and maybe even Blink or something like that to be able to get inside of these fights because he's just answered from Rupture. But yeah, LGD just playing on full farm mode. Innocence, point booster. He's going for Aghanims on this Enchantress. And he's found again.
Doesn't have a way out. So they bring down Why You Smile. And LGD, they're going to try and reclaim their triangle, move in, get the D wards.
Okay.
And they can potentially make some type of a fight happen with Lincoln's on Nothing to Say. But like you said, it still doesn't feel easy because there's that overgrowth, because there's these other factors that he needs to consider. Yeah,
it's like Planet now at this point. It's like, ooh, who do I want to use the Demonic Cleanse on? He might have to use it on the Pango for the initiation just to make sure that he doesn't get overgrowths. Yeah, it's lots of layers of these team fights that are happening that Aster, just a step ahead.
He walked over there, Nothing to Say, nearby, XXS looking for an opening. They find that Marcy right at the start. Disruption to keep him alive for the moment. Turns, unleash, Monet hit upon. XXS still waiting just to the side with that RP. The rundown comes out. Shiro gets caught right on the edge of that RP. They pull him in. They find that bash. The stun is going to be there. Although, Nothing to Say, looking for the roll around. He gets to the infest out, but the bash, as soon as he comes out of it, Monet will fall. Shiro needs to armlet toggle, but there's not enough toggle in the world. Nothing to Say still living in that ball form, but with the rest of Aster still alive and only Monet dead, I don't think that LGD have enough damage to get through these heroes.
They did it perfectly on the side of Aster. He blinks past the initiation where the Marcy is getting ruptured onto the Shadow Demon that prevents this Demonic Cleanse from coming out there. Beautiful play from XWY. It's now 4K lead and a big item picked up also for him. Now he's got an Orchid. So now they have an answer perhaps versus the Lifestealer pre-Rage and perhaps versus the SD to get the saves off. You don't see it on your screen here, but right in the back, you see the DK on the minimap. He's jumping onto the Shadow Demon to prevent this type of Demonic Cleanse and type of save. Aster, next level in these team fights.
And then that RP feeling like they just plucked him out of the air. Lifestealer not able to deal with that BKB Pearson disable. Shiro, for a moment there, it was like maybe he can make something happen, but Monet is just so big already.
Yeah, the bashers, all these bashes and control coming into play. He couldn't even get, I don't even think he got open wounds off. Yeah. So I wasn't able to get this extra heal and sustain that maybe could have ended up turning something there. Aster, 6K lead.
Oh, the Hurricane. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. Why You Smile, the tree after him, and Monet.
He's just got a rupture, okay.
Yep, they got that stun, so nowhere left to go for the Dear Lady. They bring her down
4-16. I mean, after that early game, it didn't matter. They found these like 2 fights, and that's the way that Aster plays, right? All they need is 1. It's almost a satanic finish on. I mean, Shiro is still unbelievably farmed, but the team fights just look very difficult. The layers that LGD has to take in order to take them, as they just keep getting jumped.
These wards, so much vision.
XWY is a menace. 8-1-5.
The silence will be there, so Shiro, he can't even really feel confident. He needs to sort of finish off the satanic you don't want to have to pop Satanic to dispel an Orchid, right? Feels pretty bad.
Yeah, they need something to start going in their favor. This game feels pretty impossible. Look at the dragon form. Isn't it the same as the level 6 one? I mean, he's level 18 now, though, so that is the blue dragon.
And they get him there. Shiro pops it, turns the control onto XXS. That's a good
Shiro's
fight.
dead.
But yeah, with Shiro already gone, it doesn't matter. Even though they take down XXS, even though there's no RP, LGD just still don't have the tools to deal with Aster.
Scaling too hard on multiple cores on the side of Aster.
So much vision everywhere. That ward up on the high ground breaks the Lincoln Sphere. Monet jumped upon, but the stun for the turnaround. Monet can just fight if he wants to. And Bulbaka says, get in there, buddy. It's time to battle. Nothing to say is going to actually bring him down. So Bulbaka gets his carry killed. Okay, we can't praise everything this guy does, but still a nice response from LGD.
Why You Smile says, all right, move over everybody else. I'm becoming the carry on the Enchantress. I want to see how much damage he did in this fight. Yeah, he did 4,300 damage on Ench. He's starting to get a little left alone, and Aster, after some really successful fights, this time do make a bit of a mistake and get taken advantage of. I mean, he is farming a lot on this Ench, and he did find a quiver.
Right.
One of the best items you can find on an Ench.
I mean, it's a good point, right? Like, Bulbaka with that sidekick felt like, okay, I can just turn that and, you know, find immediately onto, you know, the kill. But I'm wondering if maybe there was a dispel that happened on the sidekick too, maybe, or something like that.
I think he got disarmed from the Pango,
Okay.
right? I didn't actually get to see entirely of it, but yeah, they have to be a little cautious how they overextend here, because I'm just watching. I think Innocence, Why You Smile, used his entire mana pool on Impetus in this fight.
It did so much damage. Yeah, just left to the side there, and there are moments where it looks like it could have gone better, but also losing XXS at the start of the fight is always going to be a little rough.
Yeah, let me see what it was, actually. I think it was a disarm, but I didn't get to actually see.
So you'll see,
We'll see in a second.
Those right clicks coming out. Why You Smile pop the heals. If he can get to Aghanims too.
He's going to do a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get to see. There's another fight happening.
Why You Smile. Doesn't have as big of a mana pool this time. Jump in. Already, Rupture used, and Pango in a ton of trouble. Did manage to get disrupted for the moment, but the jump out of the Infest, it's there. Monet's dead. And again, the Rainbow Flurry, it goes out, starts to bring down XWY, RP from XXS, but the Skewer, it's not going to be enough for the chase. Why You Smile, one more hit from downtime. He gets it for the kill.
Oh my god, he's
Roche about to respawn, and back and forth the series goes.
Holy, it was 4-16, 9-20. They completely bring it back.
And Roche,
I have to see the Enchantress damage again. Waiting for it.
Oh,
where's this fight recap?
God.
Okay, he didn't do the most there. There's actually the Marcy, but either way, he has a full Aghanims now.
Dude, this Ags, I think, is silly too.
This game is insane. They've turned it completely.
Look at that. 53-40. I mean, it's all coming together for LGD, but I mean, this is 2 fights in a row where, like, that RP hasn't been there with the follow-up afterwards, or this time the Skewer didn't pull him back in. I mean, if they get that fight, it feels like it should be going better for this than for Aster.
Yeah, I honestly, Why You Smile is just, he's walking into the midst of all of them, and they can't go on him. He's just untouchable, literally, the spell. He can't actually get gone on. And they have to ignore him, which just allows him to do all this damage. And then, yeah, Shiro with Satanic is able to actually stand toe-to-toe with Monet. They have tons of disarm to deal with this Bloodseeker post-BKB, which is down to 6 seconds now. They even have a Halberd now. So many different ways to control him as things have now shifted completely.
I mean, the other thing to think about in this next fight is a lot of the sort of stopping damage that came out from Enchantress was just the fact that she ran out of a mana pool. Now you're getting 3 impetuses for 50 mana.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this damage output is going to go through the roof, I feel like.
It's like, what? Do you focus the Ench? It's like, there's actually so many targets again now that they have to focus fire.
Well, how do you even focus her, though, right? Like,
oh, no.
You need that burst damage, and they don't really have that.
This is insane. PSG.LGD turned this game completely. On top of the Halberd disarms, on top of the Pango disarms, they also have Elven Tunic with that evasion that comes in from Halberd. Bloodseeker doesn't have any way to hit through this.
Dude, she has the 45 damage talent.
Oh my god. I'm just watching Ench.
Okay, all right. Who cares about Shiro anymore? Shiro does have the DD. Give it over to the deer.
Yeah, I mean, we praised Paboka a bajillion times, but it's really been this Enchantress that's just popping off.
Wow. Switches back over now to the Grove Bow instead.
Okay.
And with that tier 2 tower taken, that first Aegis that was sort of gifted to Aster, if we remember back to it, enabled them to shut down the map and close down those tier 2 towers. Now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Where one big fight win turns into an Aegis for this Lifestealer, and now they're going to try and take down that top tier 2 tower as well.
And he's got, I mean, they don't have anyone to take the shard. So that's, I guess, the one unfortunate thing for PSG.LGD. Everyone who has a useful one already has it. They don't want to give it to Marcy because that one is not good. It actually kind of griefs you a lot of the time. And they don't want to give it to the Enchantress because there's no purpose for it. And it just inflates their net worth, which makes their, you know, buyback and stuff like that.
The little friends, though.
I'm pretty sure he just killed it.
The little friends. Giannis, I want it to be good.
Did he? I think, yeah, he killed it, right? Yeah, he killed it.
I like the little friends.
Good man.
It is terrible.
It is terrible. I've never seen it a single time.
Well, I've seen it in demo mode when I tried to make it useful, and it was not. Maybe if there's mega creeps, right? That's the moment. Surely.
But they don't want to inflate net worth. That's the big thing, too. So yeah, these players really understanding all that kind of stuff is... Aster now feeling totally on the back foot after having such an incredible start. Now it's for them difficult for them to take these fights because now the layers, as we were mentioning before, feels like they're in trouble with those layers because the answers for LGD are coming out. The cleanse is out. They have blinks even on the supports. The Enchantress is a carry. And is that a Lincoln's on Baboka? Holy moly.
Whoa.
Okay. So wanting to protect Monet, I guess, versus that demonic purge that's going to be coming out. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that they need something like that. And like, again, like we talked about later on in this game, Planet has that Aghanim Scepter queued up. If he can start getting into that type of a farm, it's one of the big hard counters to this Aster lineup.
Yeah.
Like, 2 heroes that just hate being broken. You've got 3 charges of it.
Yeah, and then they just can't move either, right? Bloodseeker thrives on having to move around in team fights, and if you're just stuck in place pretty much from that.
Yeah. Shiro almost full AC done.
Let's see if Aster's able to take this next fight.
Although he's not going to have it in time for this fight to break off.
It's coming out on Courier. They still have Aegis also for a minute.
Really good vision in the area. It's not going to be here in time. And Aster, they find one, the RP. It's already connected onto 2. Disruption, the cleanse. Shiro's fine. And look at the rainbows. Dude, XXS, he has to run. Everybody has to run.
It looked like he was going to get 3 heroes there, but ends up only getting 2 and instantly have to retreat. LGD, too damn strong.
Dude, are they going to keep going here?
I think so.
I mean, with RP down...
AC Satanic, AC Deso.
There's still some scary points, like being pulled back into the base, stunned again, and does have that Aegis expiring. Nothing to say, trying to roll back and forth, finds onto Baboka, the overgrowth is there, steals the Unleash, and Marcy in trouble, getting bashed, getting controlled, getting killed. Rubik for Marcy, so far favoring Aster. Can they find any more? Planet dead. Skewer back looking for, but why you smile, throwing out the rainbows, doing those right clicks, disarm onto him, all the rainbow damage. And that is enough to at least scare Aster away for the moment.
I would be scared too. They have to focus so much. They do get these 2 big targets though. They find the SD and the Marcy, probably 2 of the more important ones, but you can't keep committing versus Shiro and versus Why You Smile. And we're seeing these disarms, they're a problem. Monet, he only has 6 seconds of being able to actually target people.
So we take a look at this replay here. The skewer back, it looks like it could have gone really bad. Again, 30 seconds still left on that Aegis, so understandable LGD would try and make something happen, but it just didn't end up quite working out for them. Do lose the Marcy there.
Yeah. And we see there, of course, roll up versus overgrowth, etc. Tons of different ways that PSG.LGD have to be able to bail themselves out of that awkward position they were in.
So as far as like the way that these fights work out now, do we need to kind of like see from Aster a big RP for them to feel comfortable, or is it more about just stopping the pressure from LGD and then like allowing the team fight to drag a little bit? What's sort of the recipe for success for Aster? How do they win a fight?
I feel like it has to be like simultaneous kind of jumps-ins where XXS gets RP, but at the same time XWY. His target, I feel like for him, is just Shadow Demon. He has to control the Shadow Demon, otherwise some disruption, demonic cleanse and stuff like that is going to just cause problems. So I think for them it's just multi-initiations.
Finding the vision beforehand is also going to be pivotal, then, I'm imagining.
Yes, for sure. They do have the tree, of course, so they should be able to get a little bit better information. Right now, defensive wards placed up, but LGD, ready to fight. Their avenue of taking fights just feels much easier. If they have the protection of the backline, which is mostly going to be there because they have 3 bruisers that just jump in.
Then they can win that one. Well, they smoke in. get the ward taken out, and now retaking this outpost as they know Roche is going to be on the menu soon. We're a minute away from it capable of being able to respawn.
Can we actually get those damage numbers again, if we don't mind? Thank you very much. I actually wanted to look just how the breakdown is. Yeah, let's see. The Enchantress is the highest on his team.
I mean, DK and Bloodseeker definitely getting up there. A little surprised we haven't seen XWY go back for that Aghanim Scepter on the DK, instead opting to go sort of this more pick-off-oriented route, queuing up the Mage Slayer into Bloodthorn next.
Okay. It does give them a bit of that true strike, of course, versus the Lifestealer when his rage and whatnot is down. Sure, he's going to have ways to dispel it, of course, and they do, of course, have multiple ways of that, but can understand why. And it's also, you know, the Orchid makes a lot of sense versus the Shadow Demon, of course.
Yeah. And the Lifestealer. I mean, like you said, the disable or dispels, but still not bad. Aster, they know that there's a ward up there on that high ground, so they're going to try and play around it and instead retake this outpost.
Okay.
But moving into Danger Town.
LGD's got vision here.
He four-steps in. That is a dead tree. And now XWY, they did not expect them to be here. RP back onto 2, but can Monet do enough damage? Disruption there immediately. Why you smile, keeping XXX's Blink Dagger broken, and Shiro just dies though.
They get the stun.
And now Monet, they gotta run. Overgrowth out, control there, but immediately takes it off. Nothing to say, bouncing back and forth, trying to kill him off. The heal, but the Enchantress is gonna die. Nothing to say. Barely gets out of there before Bash comes.
Roche just respawned.
Dude, the instant respawn.
This game is insane.
Oh my god. Tries to chase, wants to find Planet, but can't quite get him. And they see it immediately.
2-man RP, and SD Disruption's there, but I believe they get the immediate Bash when he gets out of it, and they have the control for the Lifestealer. And now they get themselves a Roche. So you said he didn't purchase Aghanims,
yeah, right? Yeah, it's a bad thing. I don't know.
Oh, look at this. Free Aghanims for XWY.
He knew. Did the math of, you know, this many respawns, gonna be there.
I mean, the graph tells the tale of this game right now. Look at this, just completely back and forth.
Swinging back and forth for them, and yep. Now we're at a place where win probability still could be anybody's game. It's swinging very heavily back into the favor now of Aster, but I mean, I don't know.
Who knows, really, at this point. The first game in this game, like I said, 2 of my favorite games I think I've seen in this DPC. This is incredible. Both sides just know exactly how to take fights. LGD a little bit of a slip up. Aster punishes just like they did earlier. But who knows if it's enough yet.
I mean, yeah, that is kind of the thing that has stood out to me about Aster, is that in these clutch moments when it comes down to like the last little bit of execution, they've just looked like the better team this entire tour against everybody that they've played. Can they do it again now against LGD? LGD putting up a big fight, and this last round definitely came out on top.
Yeah, it's all about execution, but now feeling like the execution for Aster is getting a little bit easier now that they're getting all these big items. Yeah. XXS now has a refresher. So 2 rounds of these RPs with Timeless Relic, of course, that we didn't point out too. So heavy amount of disable, how long it does last.
Has that cheese. And DK, a massive damage dealer now. Does spot, nothing to say there, but with Lincoln's, hard to go.
Does have, of course, the Orchid, though, so can Orchid plus stun to perhaps go for him. But needs to have a better vision to take a fight.
Right. And like you said, he wants to be jumping that Shadow Demon anyways.
Most of the time. How many more Lincolns do we have now? So, okay.
Oh, interesting from Shiro. That 20 talent. Yeah, I had that a while ago, but the move speed and health. So, Aster, what do they want to do with this Aegis? You've got it on the Bloodseeker. The Tower Sieger would probably be this DK, but without an Aegis on him, it's a little scary going up there.
It's everybody has both teams just have to be cautious in kind of any situation. The team fights have to be perfectly executed.
Right.
Otherwise, yeah, it feels like it can definitely still go both ways. Big things, of course, though, is to point out, like we said, the refresher on the mag, this Aegis that they have, and also getting closer and closer to 25 on Monet. Where the double ruptures, then maybe there is these answers always for Pango and for the Lincolns and whatnot, too. As the siege now does start, double catapult still alive.
So much damage to that tower, and that dragon form. Scary stuff. 42 minutes in. Why you smile on the high ground. Starts to throw out some impetus shots. The pullback, though, onto 1. They find him. Nothing to say. Gets the roll up and gonna get bashed. Gonna get abyssal. Gonna get killed. Does have buyback. Why you smile? He went too far forward. Disruption's there to keep him alive. Now the Pango buyback. Disarm On to Bloodseeker, the overgrowth there, tries to jump, tries to kill. Monet, very low, does go down once. Shiro gets that finish, and now Marcy's low. Marcy's dead, doesn't have a buyback. Rolling back and forth, finds XWY, but the rest of these heroes don't want to fight. The RP comes out, connects onto 2, the AoE damage, another disruption save, but it's only delaying the inevitable as the second RP comes out. They find themselves target after target. Shiro controlled, Shiro living for a long time, but eventually Shiro will die. And Why You Smile does a lot with this impetus, but it's not looking like it's quite enough in the end.
They got XXS.
That's a big one to get, but they just back out on Aster after the buybacks.
Huge commitments of buybacks, and Aster come out with the win there. I mean, there's so many things to point out. The space fights are insane. I didn't even get to actually point out something that happened earlier, but I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. But Boca, he actually used some Unleash there and was actually dealing a crazy amount of damage. Oh, but these fights are just absurd. But this one, of course, the RPs come out, and it is heavy buyback. So the next fight, it could just be the nail in the coffin for PSG.LGD.
Way too much coming out too quickly. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways that they can kind of, you know, delay the inevitable a little bit. If they can find that control, though, onto Shiro, he's so much of their damage. As, yeah, that Rolling Thunder looked like it maybe could have been a turning point, but XXS was there with the finish.
Such a beast RP. Pops the cheese as well to make sure he can get the second one off right onto the Lifestealer. And yeah, now Pango still dead for 40 seconds, and Shiro without a buyback also. These next few moments could be the last ones there. Maybe. Who knows, though?
Maybe. Yeah, that's a good point.
But it has been a big swing, and Aster now has 25. So Monet, it's actually not even just 2 rupture charges. He's got a refresher, too. So it's 4 rupture charges, so more things for LGD to try to deal with.
And Why You Smile, you can see feeling like he needs to get into more damage, just queuing up a Scotty after a Sheep Stick.
And now they have the Ags on SD. So now they've got these breaks. They've got triple purge and triple saves, too, from the Demonic Cleanse. And he also hits 20, so Disseminate now it shares 45% damage.
Actually, I wouldn't mind an SD ulti onto Enchantress.
Honestly, maybe, yeah, I believe so, right? A Disseminate onto one of the targets, and then the Enchantress multi-hitting and spreading all the damage. I mean, who knows at this point? Shiro.
Keep him alive.
Also has hit 25, so increased rage duration. Uphill battle for PSG.LGD. As the refresher, 30 seconds until XXS has double RP. And speaking of double RP, they also have 25 on DK, so he has a built-in RP of his own, kind of, in a way, with the AoE Dragon Tail, too. Good God. So many layers.
Dude, you know what I'm waiting for? Big RP onto like 3 or 4, triple rupture on them, and then just skewer to death.
I mean, could put out 4. He could rupture 4 people, and it could be a 4-man rupture kind of thing coming out here.
16,000 gold lead. Still, no lead is safe, as we've seen. And an overextension by Aster could get punished super hard.
All they need to do, though, is get these big targets, right?
Yeah.
Get the heroes that don't have the buyback. Nothing to say in particular.
Now that win probability, as the game has gone later, has moved further and further into the favor of Aster.
For now.
For now.
But likely, yeah. I mean, the graph is just, it's all over the place. It doesn't know, because, yeah, these teams just know exactly how to take and pick and choose their fights. But yeah, refresher, back up. 2 RPs, 4 ruptures, etc.
47 minutes. And, you know, maybe for LGD too, if they can try and wait things out. I don't know. I feel like you could even wait for the 60-minute items or something like that. Because I don't know if they actually can take a good fight outside of their base. It feels really rough unless they have, like, perfect vision.
Yeah, unless they're the ones who get, like, this ideal positioning as well, too, for the Shadow Demon to get all of his spells off his... I think yeah, Planet actually solo smokes. So you're just that's indicating how much his positioning is going to matter for the next fights. If he can get these triple breaks / purges / saves with Demonic Cleanse. A difficult one, but definitely a possible one.
Yeah, and Aster, after going a little bit wild down bottom, are going to be playing a little bit more defensively, waiting for that next Aegis. 40 seconds till it's capable of respawning.
They're getting a lot of farm, too, even on the supports, as we were mentioning, of Baboka, but also now, look at Pichu. He's getting close to his refresher, so much control, so much BKB piercing stuff between ruptures and RPs and overgrowths.
Yeah, these BKB piercing disables out of supports just feel so strong. But 25. Any other 25s that are coming out soon?
I mean, Tree's almost 20, Rubik 22 on the way.
Pango's close.
Pango's close? Okay.
That might be worth just taking the tome on him, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he might be able to get it before then anyway. He has a big creep wave coming in mid. Unless Innocent's just like, nope, mine.
Aeon Disc done for the Pango.
Okay.
So has a way to sort of stay alive in that role and maybe just keep the stuns going, even if he's not doing damage for a little bit.
Now Shiro buys a BKB. I believe he sold his armlet as Why You Smile steps up. Aster.
Now this is a dangerous position to be walking into, but this wraparound...
If they find the back line, that's all that matters. If they find the Shadow Demon...
This would be everything. Shadow Demon Courier heading out, so they're going to know he's in the area, but they spot Shiro first. That smoke making so much value play, and Shiro...
He gets the rage before the stun!
That was not what they were hoping to do. Okay. Now trying to play into this vision. I mean, they're all smoked up. It's not an easy jump, but good placement by Aster at least. Looks like they want to back out of there.
Marcy's ready to go in.
Finds one, jumps immediately, gets the control, gets the damage, the Hex out, and he's dead.
Holy moly.
Dude, are they actually going to do this?
Oh
they
my
find
God,
the tree and blow him
well.
up too. Bulbaka has to get out of here, but does manage just barely escape at the end of that one. I can't believe that just happened.
I mean, Shiro with the fastest fingers ever. They threw the Rupture before the DK stun did come out, so it did indicate that they're in the area. But they know how to fight. Planet, he throws the cleanse onto his allies, immediately onto the Marcy, and she can just jump in onto anyone. And now it forces buybacks the other way.
Double buybacks. And yeah, we saw also the power of that Ag Scepter Shadow Demon ulti on to the Dragon Knight. Like, if he's caught by that, there's nothing.
Yep, they're just broken and dead. And, a DD top.
Dude.
Planet just takes it. He's like, no, don't care.
Oh my God.
He's like, I don't care. I just don't want them to get it. Like, I'm just grabbing this. Is now Roche.
Yeah. Oh man, that DD, that would have been really helpful.
That probably would have been really nice on Shiro, but what can you do?
No. Oh no.
Tensions are high.
That's right.
As again, let's pull up the graph again, just by the way, because it's hilarious. The most back and forth game I think we've ever had. Doesn't matter about net worth. All is execution.
Oh God. Why You Smile can keep vision in the pit really easily with his creeps sending them in.
With his beautiful little wine cup.
Now the speed demon.
I love him. Look at him. The little kobold. Love him.
Dun, 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 dun.
And Planet, again, look, this time now it's the ninja gear that he's given. So all about positioning again, like we keep saying. He's hiding himself perfectly, and demonic cleanse charges are starting to replenish.
Takes the outpost bottom.
They have a big wave also pushing down bottom. They have the tree armor though, so I don't know if Aster's even going to respond to that. They probably just throw level. It is level 20 also, so 20 armor bonus on living armor as PSG.LGD. They're ready to hit again. These buybacks.
Can they make this work? They are in the mid lane, a little bit separated from each other. Shadow Demon kind of just drops down the ward. Oh, and he finds him. They get him right at the start. Broken, in trouble. Hex the bash. It connects now onto Monet. TK's dead. Aster are falling apart. XXS, he gets his blade broken. Oh, the Shiva's guard, it barely clipped him right on the edge of it. And Monet, he is in no man's land. LGD make the comeback happen, immediately buys back.
DK's dead for 110 though.
Oh my God, LGD, how are you swinging this again?
They're just incredible how they take these fights. They get the vision for a hot second. They make the immediate jump. So, okay, I'm gonna try to be quick about this because okay, actually, there's not gonna be a fight, but so many little things again in the fight where Planet, he actually demonic purges the Lincolns on the Bloodseeker, and Monet actually refreshes his Lincolns and blocks the next one, but it's actually not enough to protect him either way because the Marcy's on top of him. I mean, this is just insanity.
God, on that blink cancel too, that's all the difference in the world right there. Okay. They're trying to cover each other so well, but it's just at the end of the day, if you can jump on top of them, if you get that vision to start, that's what sets it up, I feel like.
I mean, this Shadow Demon is breaking Dota. Look at this, he's got Refresher Shard now too. So he has 2 cleanses, he has a Demonic Purge, and he also has another set of 3 each because Refresher Shard replenishes all of them.
They get set to go high ground, 50 seconds with no DK.
Good God, they're doing this when they're against the team that has all these BKB disables, all these BKB piercing things. PSG.LGD just making magic happen.
Pull back one, but the rage immediately, and XXS is rebuffed for the moment, but Rax down, mid already taken. LGD, they want to look for more. Stolen rage for Bulbaka, and XXS, he can't really make these plays to find that opening unless he commits the RP. Has it back up in 20 seconds along with the refresher.
Okay, Monet, he has 2 sets of ruptures and a BKB, but his refresher's down. Second set, melee racks.
Demonic Cleanse, he doesn't feel comfortable with it. They find one. Why you smile, brought down to no HP at all, dies in his Sproink, and now the rupture onto Shiro, but the jump inside and nothing to say, and the long range run away. Marcy gets out of there too. Are they gonna go back in? They don't have Ench.
They're thinking about it.
I feel like that Hex has been so pivotal to their team fight wins, to getting the sort of lockdown there, but yeah, they're gonna play it safer now.
Yeah, they'll back it up. Everything is coming back up. They know that the double RPs are ready, so yeah, we'll back up. Good God.
I don't even know.
I'm having a hard time following every little spell. It's so many things, right? I'm mostly keeping eyes, of course, on Planet. I think he's still, to me, the most important hero kind of in the game. Sure, there's the damage dealers and everything like that, but he's the one who's allowing them to go for all these type of plays, breaking the enemy heroes, keeping these defensive purges so they can't get overgrowth or anything like that. So, yeah, still, I think for Aster, they need to find this pesky Shadow Demon, who now I believe has an Aeon Disc, so has another form of being able to protect himself too.
If they can find him at the start of these fights, it would be huge. And this is, I think, part of the reason that we're seeing this like swing back and forth, right? Is that in a way, you have to make these sneaky plays. It was Shadow Demon alone going forward to that high ground, placing down that ward, getting the vision that allowed the rest of his team to find him. If LGD were the one, say for instance, like we just saw, breaching high ground, if everybody's up from Aster are going to have that vision advantage. They're going to have a better way to start the fight.
Yeah, I mean, they need the vision, they need to get the jump, and they just 100% need to find the Shadow Demon. But difficult, as we said, you know, versus these 3 bruisers that just jump in and start the fight. Now, LGD, they're actually looking to smoke themselves. They commit gold, though. Planet does not have buyback, but has an Aeon Disc. Well, and he's got all the charges, so 6 demonic cleanses and 6 demonic purges potential.
And the ninja gear really being a huge part of this success too, right? Like the fact that he can stay back and away from those fights, throw the spells out, and then if he needs to, after the refresher shard, even pop ninja gear again.
Absolutely. And no buyback on Bloodseeker, no buyback on DK, while 4 heroes on the side of PSG.LGD have it. Monet has to be incredibly careful.
This game has been back and forth, but and in moments where we felt like one of the teams had like a lock on the game, it swung the other direction. Right now, it's feeling like LGD have all the momentum. Can Aster turn this around one last time here?
Who knows? I mean, I think that a lot of the rupture skewer plays could come into play here, but it's mainly finding Planet, who's just sitting in the back ninja geared.
They're gonna look for him, drop down that fireball, RP onto nothing. The blink away, the move away, and XXS doesn't have it.
They're feeling the pressure for sure.
Scary times, but they kill off the entire creep wave. We're, what, 4 minutes away from those tier 5 neutrals. There's 40 seconds left on this Aegis. Shiro, he's gonna walk in with this demonic cleanse, and that is going to be enough to take this melee racks most likely.
Even though they're both living armored.
He's so scared. Even still.
He's playing completely around Rage right now. So he's infested until Rage probably comes back up, and then he's going to look to pop out and finish off the racks. It is back up.
Careful, the stun, the pull, the rupture. He's dropping, he's dead. Shiro dead inside the base. The refresher needs to be careful. Marcy trying to move in and save him. That's the BKB. They've already used the control though, and now the break has to run away on Monet. Shiro keeping that control, roll forward into damn near the fountain as XWY 4-staff and runs into the fountain. Now looks for more. The rupture's there. Aster, they've pulled them in pretty far. Why you smile? Just does so much damage. Look at it. Look at him run down. They have to pop that abyssal and try and get out of there. Marcy controlled. Marcy goes down. There's the buyback. XXS also dead, and he doesn't have one. The broken DK hides in the tree line, and LGD, after taking the full set of racks, are they going to go for more?
They got what they came for. They still have 2 demonic cleanse. He went through 6 demonic purges and 4 demonic cleanse, or 5 demonic cleanses there. I mean, good God.
Oh, God. I mean, they know there's no mag. The sort of threats that were there before no longer a problem.
No BKBs either. Bloodseeker, DK, they can't come in.
He's 120 gold away from buyback on that mag. Go get a bounty route, somebody.
He doesn't have RPs, though, and that's megas.
Oh, LGD, they might have finally closed this one out. They might have finally done it.
Feels like it. Good. I mean, this is insane. I said the first game was one of my favorite, if not my favorite game I've seen all DPC. This one just became it as well. This is unreal.
Shiro Feeling comfy, hitting tier 4 towers, and Aster wanting to slow this down, waiting for XXS. 40 seconds have never felt so long as those tier 4 towers are dropping. 60 gold away from having a buyback, and it's just not there. Shiro, he's ruptured, but jumps inside while you smile. XY gets caught. He's stunned.
Broken.
He's killed. Well, no save from Rubik. Okay, broken.
But Monet?
But still okay there. Monet has to run out of there. Oh, the damage. It's way too much. The overgrowth trying to cover each other. Monet pops the BKB in the fountain. Nothing to say. Getting turned on. They pop the glyph finally. 10 seconds until XXS. Aster, they might finally be brought down here by LGD as DK is going to die. He does have buyback. Throw bodies, throw everything. XXS is back up. And do they finally retreat away from this? The lift back, the catch, the control. They find that Enchantress. She's silenced and looking like she might go down, although the save is there from Planet again. Gets caught. And they do manage. Well, now find Planet.
Find Planet. Okay.
Oh, all right. Aster, hold on.
Only just.
Somehow they hold on to their Ancient.
Oh my god. And Monet, he's actually going to have buyback. So 10 seconds and 300 gold. They couldn't bring him down. Can they hold on, though, versus Megas? They have in power. They have the heroes to be able to hold on to it. So let's see how these next fights go.
And 60 minutes. The items are going to be here.
Oh, baby.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, surely now, surely LGD has it. You would imagine.
They have a big advantage for sure. Like everybody except for the Marcy has buyback on the side of PSG.LGD. And now 60 minutes. Let's see what they get.
Oh, my heart.
That's a good item.
My heart.
That's also a good item.
I feel like they can just run in and hit the building.
You have to remember though, there is living armor. This is a 43 armor Ancient whenever the living armor does come out onto it. So a bit hard for them to just full commit.
Pirate hat for the DK now.
Oh, do you pass that to Monet? I wonder.
A mirror shield. Oh, that is a nice one.
Everyone just gathering items here.
Yeah. It's just a chill out for a second, get your items.
Oh, okay. DD spawns top and Roche is up.
Fifth Roche.
Good God.
Oh, man.
This game has delivered absolutely everything. This series is just, yeah, like my favorite series in a very, very long time, I have to say.
LGD versus Aster. We were waiting for it this entire tour, and it's come back around at just about the perfect time.
You actually could be right about them committing for Throne, though. With Pirate Hat, with the Stygian Desolator, plus Deso AC effect, no glyph available for Aster. They might just be able to run it down and go in.
Of course, it's a dangerous proposition against that BKB piercing disable. Bobica found. Force Staff gets him out of harm's way. Monet, it's his Lincoln's broken, but another lift and the BKB popped.
Trying to maybe force a fight somewhere so that they can jump onto that throne, but not the easiest still. Good God, this is so insane.
I mean, this is the scary thing though, right? Like, it's 3 melee cores against a mag. If they're hitting that Ancient, you've got double RP. I mean, you could potentially throw this game at the last second. Now, they do have the Ex Machina available on Marcy, or excuse me, on Why You Smile.
He's tanky.
And
has double hex too. That's
smoke. There's waiting for anybody.
They actually trade items. They gave the Pirate Hat to Why You Smile.
Waiting for anybody. Monet, hold out. RP finds it on 1, but that's not good enough. Has to get out of there. Marcy on top of it. Second RP used just to get XWY a little bit away, and now the throne is open. They're going on it right away. The Unleash is there. Monet just gonna get dropped to the Enchantress. Shiro pops Refresher, runs on in. They turn their sights onto the throne. LGD are going to win this game, take out Aster, and get us set up for a nice little rematch tomorrow where they get to play again.
Yeah. I mean, we're all so lucky. I love my life. I love Dota.
It's so good.
This is, yeah, like I said, probably one of my favorite series I've casted in easily.